My name is Debra Drew, and I'm the director of a company called Fabric Architecture, based here in Gloucestershire. It was a good place for us to set up our business because it's very connected to the rest of the UK, but it's also easy to travel from here to London. We had offices in America and in the Middle East, and it was a very easy place to conduct international business from. One of the things that's really struck me about Gloucestershire is it's quite disparate because of the number of different councils and because Gloucester versus Cheltenham versus the Forest of Dean. And I think it's really sad because it's so unnecessary. And if there was a way to be coherent with the structure, I think it would just make the whole county blossom. Part of what we looked at with the 2050 Vision Project, and you know, when we came up with this concept of this super city, to kind of amalgamate the entire region, I must admit I grappled because you don't want to lose what's special about anything. I think if we're very thoughtful and considered and have proper transportation networks so people can cycle, and you know, we have our regional parks in place, I think we could just take what we already have in pieces and put together something absolutely fabulous, really. The 6 overriding themes that we settled on were themes that we thought, well, we could put all the other important things in those baskets. You know, that it would all then relate and make a good 3-dimensional picture for the county. You know, one of the things when you think to have a vision for 2050, when you think back 30 years ago, we were stopping by the side of the road to make a phone call at a pay box. You know, it's pretty astounding to try to then think, how will we be traveling from the Forest of Dean to Cheltenham in 30 years? You know, I don't know if we're going to be in a tube and sucked along, or, you know, riding on top of a drone. There's so many possibilities. You know, if everything is looked at through the veil of your values, and we all agree on what the values are, then you don't argue so much about the execution. We know we want to attract new, young, vibrant kids. We need, you know, a world-class university. I think the University of Gloucestershire is doing a fabulous job, but, you know, it needs to go leaps and bounds because obviously that's what generates interest and enthusiasm. And man, there are things like that you know we'll need. You know, however we're learning or whatever we're doing, you know, if we have a commitment to higher education and to creating great skill sets and great workforces, then that's the fundamental, but how that happens may change. If we underlie all this with a consideration for culture and the arts and for inclusion, you know, I just feel like we'll create more compassion, more communication, more understanding of each other. I just think it'll be a better place to live because, you know, it has to feel right too, doesn't it? But it's also so dimensional, isn't it? Because when you think we've got GCHQ here and things like Renishaw and the quality of the companies we have here, and then the beauty of the countryside, it's quite, you can see why it is a real challenge to pull it all together because you don't want to lose the beauty of the past, but you know, you can't live there forever. You've got to go forward as well. It's striking a balance, isn't it, and finding the heart of the county.